Jeff Todd here for MLB Trade Rumors. You know, we may not be any closer to baseball in 2020 just yet, but something about yesterday sparked me. I don't know what it is. I got excited. I think it was reading about Carlos Rodon coming back from Tommy John surgery. It got my brain moving about the White Sox. So I've donned my old school White Sox hat yet again. I'm really excited about this roster suddenly. I want to see it on the field now, preferably, but in a few months, that'll be fine too. We're going to talk about that today. Before we dive into that, please do go subscribe quickly below. I did want to let you also know that MLBTR's owner and founder, Tim Durkis, is ready to roll just about. We're going to be shooting some videos here very, very soon. Excited to get him onto this channel. Brings a whole new element and dimension to what we are doing. So please subscribe below to keep up with that. All right, so here's what got me going on the White Sox. When I have looked over this roster before, a few areas stand out as potentially having some question marks. There's no doubt about it. This is not, the Dodgers, a complete, fully developed, star-studded team just yet. But that Rodon news, it just got my wheels turning in my head, and I realized this team could be an absolute monster in a short season format like the one we are likely to get if indeed the season gets off the ground. The reason for that is severalfold. First of all, you've got a guy like Rodon coming back along with some fella by the name of Michael Kopech, another high-end young pitcher that is returning from Tommy John surgery. These guys now are going to have plenty of time to get fully ramped up and ready to roll for the start of the season. May not be called upon right at the start of the season, but that is some high-powered young arms that we weren't sure how they were going to be able to integrate back into that team early in the season. Now they're going to be available and on a roster that's going to have many more options available to it. Remember, we're going to be in a world where we'll have expanded rosters, a lot more players to be called upon. That's also important because it's going to allow this team to bring up some extra guys to manage some areas where there are questions, such as second base. Leury Garcia, not the most high-end guy at that position. Well, now you can mix and match. You can platoon. You can bring up hopeful rookie soon, Nick Madrigal, a top prospect. Get him in there, see what he's got to contribute. The other thing about this short season format that's interesting is that all of these young players that are populating this roster, and let's make no mistake, there are a ton of really, really exciting talents on this roster. You go up the middle, Luis Robert in center field. You've got Eloy Jimenez. You've got a hopefully resurgent Nomar Mazara in the outfield. And then in the infield, of course, the left side of that infield has explosive potential with Yohan Moncada and Tim Anderson. I'm not trying to cover the whole roster, but talking about those young guys, and Anderson, of course, has been around a while, but especially thinking about the high upside guys, the high ceiling guys, teams are not going to have a chance the way they usually would to pick them apart and adjust and find those holes the way that they would over the course of a typically more spread out 162 game season. In a short season format, these guys are going to have a chance to just let their pure talent go. And teams are going to have a very hard time with limited scouting, non-traditional opportunities, in a short timeline to find the kinds of holes in these players' swings and all that they would normally. The other thing about the short season format is that some of the White Sox maybe depth issues that could be exposed over a long season may not be in a short season. You're looking at some veteran guys that need to perform for this team too. Jose Abreu, Edwin Encarnacion, Yasmani Grandal. Now these guys, no reason to think they wouldn't be able to handle a full season, but only having to do it on the short season gives you every better chance to get full out production from guys like that without worrying about nagging injuries and ailing backs and all the things that some of us in our late 30s have to deal with. So those kinds of guys are going to be ready to roll. And then looking at the pitching staff, it's a similar situation. you're going to get the best that you can out of the veterans, Keuchel, Gio Gonzalez, and you're going to have a chance to see the pure power arsenal of some of those younger guys maybe play up. Maybe. Lucas Giolito, of course, is going to be looking to come back and repeat really a Cy Young caliber season. Ronaldo Lopez, Dylan Cease, and then the guys I mentioned already. You're looking at what could be in a short season format, dare I say, even a dominant group of pitchers. There's some good talent in the bullpen as well, though a little bit less certain over there. But this team could be great in that format. And honestly, that's not even really where it gets the most exciting. It gets more exciting when you look at 2021. There are so many things that have to go right still. That's the same for any team. But the upside here is tremendous. Now remember, when last we saw Rodon, when last we saw Kopech pitching in the big leagues, these guys were flashing really, really impressive stuff. Rodon was punching out batters at a higher rate than he ever had before, using a four-seam fastball much more than before. He was making some adjustments, also giving up a few more hard hits than usual, but he was in the process of working that out, showing some promise when he went down. Kopech, of course, similarly did not exactly have instant success when he debuted in terms of the earned run average, but the guy showed an arsenal that didn't leave much to the imagination. We could see where it was headed. Really, really high-end upside there. So looking at this roster in 2021, realizing that you have those veteran guys I already named are all under contract or under control. Edwin Encarnacion does have an option there that the team could pick up if it's warranted. They could keep this roster together. They don't have to. They'll be able to get out from under Encarnacion. They can move on from Mazara. But you're also thinking about a team that might have newly established guys like Madrigal, in there and ready to roll. I'm really excited about the White Sox. I'm not going to even go into the downside scenarios and the things that could go wrong. Yes, there are those two. We all get it. I'm just going to leave this one on a positive note. How are you feeling, White Sox fans, about this team? Are you as excited as I have suddenly become about them, or do you feel a little bit less optimistic? Head down to the comments. Let us know. Please do subscribe on your way there. Hit the like button. We'll do it again on Monday.